Can you talk about the dangers of Project 2025?
Project 2025 is nothing but a white supremacist manifesto to how they can delete anybody that ain't old, white, and male. That is all it is. It's about attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's about attacking those that don't want to bow down to the orange Jesus and decide that they're going to be his loyalists and do whatever they want him to do. It's about getting rid of the Department of Education, getting rid of the Department of Justice, making everyone subscribe to the way that they understand and interpret Christianity, which I'm sure is the same Christianity that somehow justified slavery. That's why Trump had to go ahead and send that dog whistle about our black jobs. And I got news for him and anybody else. My black ass is exactly where I'm supposed to be, trying to check them and their white supremacy. So essentially what it is to destroy us and to destroy democracy. It also looks at consolidating power in the hands of the president. This is what we already see happening when we look at what the Supreme Court did when they decided that they were going to crown him King Trump and give him immunity that has never been warranted or given in this country. Warrants immunity that would allow him to literally kill somebody and get away with it. So that's Project 2025 in a nutshell. And don't forget your grannies and your aunties, because they're trying to take your Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare.
As you come on to the page, kindly hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. And don't forget to put on the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop the next video. Thank you.
So I'm going to make sure I ask you some questions. Let me know if you're having problems answering them, because they really should be yes or no. Let's see. You're the executive director for the America First Legal, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And America First Legal is a member of Project 2025, which is dedicated to creating the playbook for the next conservative administration and what it calls the Project Pillars, correct?
We are proud contributors to Project 2025.
Okay. And are you familiar with Project 2025's mandate for leadership?
In fact, I am.
Okay. And in fact, you wrote some of the sections of this mandate related to the DOJ, correct?
Sure did.
And the mandate outlines policy priorities for the next conservative president. Is that correct?
It does.
You've done a great job. I just want to let you know. All right, so let's walk through some of the provisions of the mandate. It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce, deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. It also has the repealing of Schedule F status for thousands of federal employees to allow a president to replace career civil servants with unqualified partisan loyalists. That's probably my favorite of it. It also prohibits the FBI from combating the spread of misinformation and disinformation, like Russia and China, who are actively trying to interfere with American elections. I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. And I know that there was allegedly a joke about dictators and whether or not that's funny, but in the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny. And Project 2025 is giving the playbook for authoritarianism as well as the next dictator to come in. And I know that you are doing your jobs here by making sure that hopefully some juror turns on and finds some viral moment of you spewing more of the nonsense as it relates to the president. But as practicing lawyers or licensed attorneys, I hope that we can all agree that no one gets indicted because someone says so. There takes a grand jury, and the grand jury is comprised of American citizens that sit down and review evidence, and they make the determination. And when and if Trump is convicted, it will be a jury of his peers, and it won't be the president of the United conversation. enough to be here. It's not enough for y'all to show up and vote. It's going to take everybody in this fight. And we cannot be deterred for any reason. Because if Project 2025 comes to pass,
Say it.
I really don't know where we will be if we will be anywhere. If Trump is allowed to get any more Supreme Court justice, I'm trying to tell y'all, ain't nobody safe. We have seen what this current Supreme Court has done. He absolutely plans to put 2 more on the Supreme Court. We cannot afford to go through another generation of this kind of hate. We need court reform right now when it comes to the Supreme Court. It's not enough to be here. It's not enough for y'all to show up and vote.
I stand 10 toes down with Vice President Kamala Harris to become the next president of the United States. I made it very clear very early. If Joe is out, there is only one person that I will be working for. So this idea of throwing out Joe Manchin and all these other people, listen, if y'all decide to go any other way, have fun with that. But the only person that I will get out there and break my back for and campaign for and believe in, who is capable and qualified, is Vice President Kamala Harris.
And you engaged in an exchange earlier with one of my colleagues, and I don't know if you recall, but it was hitting me a little differently as a Black woman sitting here, because it almost seemed as if you either get diversity or you get qualifications. It did not seem as if my colleague understood that someone can be diverse and qualified. And it is why you have people like me that get very frustrated, not just in the halls of Congress, but in general in this country. Because as I'm sitting here and there seemed to be this question of you're either diverse or you're qualified, all I could think about was the fact that I currently hold an honorary doctorate. I also hold a Juris Doctorate. I also hold a bachelor's. I also technically hold the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the Civil Air Patrol. And I actually practiced law for almost 2 decades, in addition to serving on various boards, in addition to being a prior state lawmaker. And there are those that would make some people believe that because I happen to be Black and or a woman, that somehow, even though I can rattle off all the qualifications in the world, my Blackness makes me unqualified.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you for watching.